Most people spend their lives chasing goals. They set a target, choose a deadline, and feel a surge of excitement. For a brief moment, they believe nothing can stop them. They imagine the results, the success, and the life they will have once they finally achieve what they want. But as the days pass, reality begins to take over. Motivation fades, energy drops, and the goal that once felt inspiring slowly turns into another unfinished dream. If this sounds familiar, you are not alone. Perhaps you promised yourself that this year would be different. Maybe you plan to exercise every day, start a business, improve your English, read more books, save money, or finally become the person you always wanted to be. At first, everything seemed possible. Yet after a few weeks, life became busy, distractions appeared, and the excitement disappeared. Many people assume this happens because they lack discipline, talent, or determination. Some even believe that success is reserved for a lucky few. But what if the real problem is not you? What if the problem is the way most people approach success? The truth is that highly successful people focus on something different. They do not spend all their energy chasing goals. Instead, they build systems, daily habits, and routines that move them forward consistently. And that simple shift changes everything. The hidden problem with goals. Have you ever noticed how easy it is to get excited about a new goal? The moment you decide to change your life, a powerful wave of motivation rushes through you. Suddenly, everything feels possible. You promise yourself that this time will be different. This time you will stay focused. This time you will finally achieve what you have always wanted. Goals are exciting because they give us hope. They create a vision of a better future and inspire us to take action. They show us where we want to go. But there is a hidden problem with goals that most people never realize until it is too late. Imagine two people standing at the starting line of the same journey. Both dream of running a marathon. Both want to cross the finish line and experience the pride that comes with accomplishing something difficult. The first person spends most of their time thinking about race day. They imagine the cheering crowd, the medal around their neck, and the feeling of victory. The dream motivates them, but their attention remains fixed on the outcome. The second person takes a different approach. Instead of focusing only on the finish line, they focus on today's run. They focus on getting enough sleep, eating healthy meals, and improving little by little each week. While one person is obsessed with the destination, the other is committed to the process. Now ask yourself a simple question. Who is more likely to succeed? The answer is clear. The person who trusts the process has a much greater chance of reaching the goal. Goals tell you where you want to go, but systems determine whether you actually get there. A goal is a single event. A system is a way of life. Goals can create temporary excitement, but systems create lasting transformation. They turn dreams into daily actions and daily actions into extraordinary results. This is where many people become trapped. They believe happiness exists somewhere in the future. They tell themselves, "I'll be happy when I lose weight. I'll be happy when I make more money. I'll be happy when I achieve success." But life rarely works that way. The moment one goal is achieved, another one appears. The finish line keeps moving farther away and the cycle continues. As a result, millions of people spend years chasing happiness instead of experiencing it. They keep waiting for some future achievement to make them feel fulfilled. But true growth begins when you stop living only for the outcome and start appreciating the journey. That is the real power of systems. Systems allow you to win every day, not just on the day you reach a goal. They help you find purpose in the process, confidence in your actions, and joy in your progress. When you focus on building strong systems, success stops being a distant dream and becomes the natural result of who you are becoming every single day. The farmer's secret. Imagine a farmer standing alone in the middle of an empty field. The land stretches out before him, full of possibility. He has a dream in his heart and a clear goal in his mind. He wants a harvest, a beautiful harvest, a profitable harvest, a harvest that could change his life forever. Every day he imagines baskets overflowing with crops. He pictures the reward, the success, and the future he hopes to create. He thinks about it constantly. He talks about it. He dreams about it. He visualizes it with perfect clarity. But there is one problem. He never plants anything. Weeks pass. Then months. The seasons begin to change, yet the field remains exactly as it was on the first day, empty. No crops, no growth, no harvest. No matter how strongly he believes, no matter how clearly he imagines success, nothing appears. Why? Because goals alone cannot produce results. The farmer needs more than a vision. He needs a system. He must prepare the soil before planting. He must place seeds into the ground. He must water them regularly. He must remove weeds that threaten their growth. He must protect the crops from storms, pests, and neglect. Most importantly, he must repeat these actions day after day, even when the results are invisible. Eventually, the harvest arrives, but it does not appear because he wished for it. It appears because he created the conditions that allowed it to grow. Life works exactly the same way. Many people dream about the harvest, but very few commit to planting the seeds. Everyone wants confidence, but few are willing to practice speaking when they feel nervous. Everyone wants success, but few are willing to improve consistently when progress feels slow. Everyone wants financial freedom, but few develop the daily habits of saving, learning, and managing money wisely. The truth is simple but powerful. The results you want are hidden inside the actions you repeat. A successful life is not built in a single dramatic moment. It is built through small choices made consistently over time. The harvest you desire tomorrow depends on the seeds you are willing to plant today. So stop staring at the field and wishing for results. Stop waiting for the perfect moment to begin. Start preparing the soil. Start planting the seeds. Start doing the work that most people avoid. The process may seem slow at first, but every action matters. Every effort counts. Every seed carries potential. Because in the end, the harvest does not belong to the people who simply dream about success. It belongs to those who show up every day, trust the process, and patiently nurture their growth until success becomes impossible to ignore. Why motivation is not enough. Have you ever felt incredibly motivated on a Monday, only to lose that motivation by Wednesday? If so, you are not alone. One of the biggest myths in self-improvement is the belief that successful people are always motivated. We often look at athletes, entrepreneurs, authors, leaders, and high achievers and assume they wake up every morning excited, energized, and ready to conquer the world. But the truth is far less glamorous and far more powerful. Successful people are not successful because they feel motivated every day. They are successful because they have learned how to keep going even when motivation disappears. The reality is that nobody feels inspired all the time. Not athletes training for championships, not business owners building companies, not writers creating books, not students pursuing their dreams. Every person, no matter how accomplished, experiences days when they feel tired, distracted, discouraged, or unmotivated. Motivation is like the weather. Some days the sun shines brightly and everything feels easy. You are excited about your goals. You feel confident. You feel unstoppable. But other days the skies are cloudy. Doubt appears. Energy fades. The excitement that once pushed you forward seems nowhere to be found. The problem is that many people build their lives around motivation. They work hard when they feel inspired and stop when they do not. As a result, their progress becomes inconsistent. They take 2 steps forward and 1 step back. They start strong but struggle to finish. This is where systems become life-changing. Think about brushing your teeth. Most people do not wake up every morning feeling deeply motivated to brush their teeth. They do not watch motivational videos before picking up a toothbrush. They simply do it. Why? Because it has become part of their routine, part of their identity, part of their system. That is the real power of systems. Systems remove the need to constantly negotiate with yourself. Instead of asking, "Do I feel like doing this today?" you simply follow the process. The action becomes automatic. The habit becomes stronger. The decision becomes easier. Over time, these small actions begin to create extraordinary results. A single workout may not transform your body. A single page may not create a book. A single study session may not change your future. But when these actions are repeated consistently, day after day, week after week, they become impossible to ignore. The people who achieve remarkable things are not always the most motivated. They are often the most consistent. They understand that motivation comes and goes, but systems remain. When motivation disappears, the system carries them forward. So stop waiting to feel motivated before taking action. Motivation is a visitor. It comes and goes. Systems are a foundation. They remain. Build routines that work even on difficult days. Create habits that support your goals regardless of your mood. Because true success is not built on occasional bursts of inspiration. It is built on consistent actions repeated long after the excitement has faded. Small actions create massive outcomes. One of the greatest mistakes people make is underestimating the power of small actions. We live in a world that celebrates dramatic success stories, overnight achievements, and breakthrough moments. Because of this, many people believe that success requires something extraordinary, a life-changing opportunity, a sudden burst of inspiration, or a lucky break that transforms everything overnight. They wait for the perfect moment to arrive. They wait for motivation, confidence, or ideal circumstances. But the truth is that most remarkable success stories begin in a much quieter way. They begin with small actions. Actions so small that they often seem insignificant at first. Imagine improving by just 1% every day. It sounds almost too simple to matter. After one day, you would hardly notice any difference. After a week, the progress would still appear small. Even after a month, the changes might seem invisible to everyone around you. This is the stage where most people they become discouraged because they cannot see immediate results. They mistake slow progress for no progress. But something powerful is happening beneath the surface. Each small improvement is building on the one before it. Every positive choice becomes a foundation for the next one. The effect begins to compound. Days turn into weeks. Weeks turn into months. Months turn into years. What once seemed insignificant becomes extraordinary. One day you look back and realize that the person you are today is stronger, wiser, more disciplined, and more capable than the person you used to be. This is how real transformation happens. Not through one giant leap, not through one lucky opportunity, but through thousands of small steps taken consistently over time. Think about a tree. No one notices its growth from one day to the next, yet year after year it becomes taller, stronger, and more deeply rooted. Human growth follows the same pattern. Every page you read adds knowledge. Every workout builds strength. Every skill you practice improves your ability. Every positive habit shapes your future. This is why systems are so powerful. Goals focus on outcomes. Systems focus on action. Goals ask, what do I want to achieve? Systems ask, what do I need to do today? Outcomes are often uncertain because many factors are outside your control. But your actions are always within your control. And what you repeatedly do ultimately determines what you become. Never underestimate the value of a small step forward. The smallest action is always more powerful than the grandest intention left undone. Success is rarely the result of one extraordinary moment. It is the result of ordinary actions repeated with extraordinary consistency. So focus on today's step. Make it count. Because the tiny actions you take today are quietly creating the massive outcomes you will experience tomorrow. The power of identity. Here is a question that has the power to change the direction of your entire life. What kind of person do you want to become? Most people answer this question by talking about goals. They say, I want to lose weight. I want to write a book. I want to start a successful business. These are good goals. They give direction and purpose. But there is a deeper question that few people ever ask themselves. Who must you become in order to achieve those things? Think about it for a moment. A person who loses weight does not simply reach a number on a scale. They become someone who values health, exercise, and self-care. A person who writes a book does not just complete a manuscript. They become someone who writes consistently. Even when inspiration is missing, a person who builds a successful business becomes someone who solves problems, learns continuously, and refuses to quit when challenges appear. The real transformation is not in what you achieve, it is in who you become. This is where the power of identity begins. Most people try to change their results without changing their identity. They focus on the outcome while ignoring the person they need to become. As a result, they struggle to stay consistent. They rely on motivation, willpower, and temporary bursts of enthusiasm. But lasting change happens when your actions become connected to your identity. Systems play a powerful role in this process. Every action you take is like casting a vote for the person you want to become. Every workout is a vote for becoming a healthy person. Every page you write is a vote for becoming a writer. Every hour you spend learning is a vote for becoming a knowledgeable and capable individual. No single action will completely define you, but each action strengthens the identity you are building. This is why small actions matter so much. They are not just helping you achieve a goal, they are helping you become someone new. Day by day, choice by choice, habit by habit, you are creating your future self. Many people think success is something that happens to them. They imagine it as a destination they will eventually reach. But success is not something you achieve once and keep forever. Success is something you practice every day. It is found in your routines, your habits, and the decisions you make when no one is watching. When your actions begin to align with the person you want to become, consistency becomes easier. You stop forcing yourself to change because change is already happening. You no longer act like someone chasing success. You act like someone who is successful in their daily habits. And that is the true power of identity. The strongest systems are not built around goals. They are built around because when you become the right person, the results you desire often follow naturally. The compound effect of daily habits. Imagine two friends standing at the beginning of their adult lives. They have similar backgrounds, similar opportunities, and similar potential. Neither one is significantly more talented than the other. At first glance, they seem almost identical. But one friend makes a simple decision. He chooses to improve himself just a little bit every day. Not dramatically, not perfectly, just slightly. He reads a few pages each day, learns a new skill, exercises regularly, and looks for small ways to become better. The other friend chooses to stay exactly as he is. He does not make major mistakes, but he also does not make consistent improvements. After one day, there is almost no difference between. After 1 week, the difference remains invisible. After 1 month, it is still difficult to notice any meaningful change. From the outside, both lives appear the same. This is where most people become discouraged. They expect immediate results. They want visible progress right away. When they do not see dramatic changes, they assume their efforts are not working. So they return to old habits and familiar routines. But what they fail to understand is that success is often happening beneath the surface. As the months pass, the small improvements begin to accumulate. The friend who chose daily growth starts gaining knowledge. He develops better habits. He becomes more confident. His health improves. His skills expand. He meets new people, discovers new opportunities, and gradually creates a stronger future for himself. Years later, the difference becomes impossible to ignore. One person has built valuable skills, stronger relationships, greater confidence, and a healthier lifestyle. The other remains trapped in the same patterns, facing many of the same challenges year after year. The gap between them is no longer small, it is enormous. And here is the most important lesson. The difference was never talent. The difference was consistency. This is the magic of the compound effect. Small actions, repeated daily, create results that seem unbelievable over time. Just as money can grow through compound interest, your habits can grow through compound improvement. Every positive choice strengthens the next one. Every small victory creates momentum, and momentum is one of the most powerful forces in human achievement. Once you begin moving forward consistently, progress becomes easier. Confidence grows because you trust yourself. Discipline grows because your habits become automatic. Improvement becomes part of your identity rather than something you occasionally attempt. That is why systems are so powerful. They create momentum that carries you forward even when motivation fades. Over time, success stops feeling like a distant dream that belongs to someone else. It starts feeling natural. It starts feeling achievable. Eventually, success no longer feels impossible. It begins to feel inevitable. Because when you improve a little every day, time becomes your greatest ally, and the future rewards every small step you choose to take today. Building your own system. At this point, you may be wondering, how do I actually build a system that works? The answer is surprisingly simple, but it is also the part that many people struggle to accept. Start small. Very small. In fact, start smaller than your ego wants. Most people fail because they believe meaningful progress requires massive action. They create ambitious plans, unrealistic schedules, and demanding routines that look impressive on paper. For a few days, they feel excited and motivated. But when life becomes difficult, those complicated systems quickly fall apart. The truth is that successful systems are not built on intensity, they are built on consistency. If you want to read more books, do not start by promising to read 50 pages every day. Start with 5 pages. If you want to exercise regularly, do not begin with 2-hour workouts. Start with 10 minutes. If you want to become a writer, do not pressure yourself to write an entire chapter. Start with 1 paragraph. If you want to improve your English, begin with 15 focused minutes each day. These actions may seem small, but that is exactly the point. Small habits are easier to repeat, and repetition is where transformation happens. Many people think the goal is perfection. They believe they must perform at their best every single day. But perfection is not the goal. Consistency is. A good system should be simple enough to follow even when life becomes challenging. And life will become challenging. There will be days when you feel tired, days when you feel stressed, days when your schedule is full and your energy is low. There will be unexpected problems, distractions, setbacks, and responsibilities that demand your attention. If your system only works on perfect days, it is not really a system. The best systems are designed for real life. They survive difficult days because they are realistic and sustainable. On your best days, you may do more than the minimum. But on your worst days, the minimum keeps you moving forward. That small action becomes a promise to yourself that you will not quit. Remember, success is not about doing extraordinary things once in a while. It is about doing ordinary things consistently for a long time. A simple system followed every day will always outperform a perfect system that is abandoned after a few weeks. So stop worrying about how fast you can move. Focus on building a routine you can maintain. Focus on showing up. Focus on taking the next small step. Because every great achievement begins with a simple action repeated again and again. The people who succeed are not always the most talented. Often, they are the ones who built systems so simple, so practical, and so consistent that they could keep going long after everyone else stopped. And that is exactly how lasting success is created. Trust the process. One of the hardest parts of personal growth is continuing to move forward when you cannot yet see the results. We live in a world that rewards speed. We want fast progress, quick results, and immediate proof that our efforts are working. When we exercise, we want to see changes in the mirror right away. When we study, we want instant improvement. When we work toward a dream, we want visible signs that success is getting closer. Human beings naturally love quick rewards because they make us feel certain that our time and effort are worthwhile, but meaningful growth rarely works that way. In fact, some of the most important progress in life happens where you cannot see it. Think about bamboo. For years after it is planted, bamboo appears to grow very little above the ground. If you looked at it from the outside, you might think nothing is happening. You might even assume that the seed has failed, but beneath the surface, something extraordinary is taking place. An extensive root system is spreading through the soil, growing stronger and deeper every day. Then, after years of unseen preparation, the bamboo suddenly shoots upward at an incredible rate. To an observer, it looks like a miracle. But the rapid growth did not happen overnight. It was the result of years of invisible development. Your journey works exactly the same way. Every workout strengthens you even when the mirror shows no difference. Every study session improves your mind even when the results are not immediately visible. Every page you read, every skill you practice, and every positive habit you repeat is creating growth beneath the surface. The progress may be hidden, but it is real. This is where many people quit too soon. They mistake a lack of visible results for a lack of progress. They become discouraged because the rewards are delayed. They stop watering the seed just before it begins to grow. Do not make that mistake. Trust the process, even when the outcome is uncertain. Trust your effort, even when nobody notices. Trust your system, even when progress feels slow. Every small action matters more than you realize. Each time you choose discipline over comfort, growth over excuses, and consistency over convenience, you are strengthening the roots that will support your future success. One day, the results will appear. People may look at your success and call it luck. They may think it happened suddenly. They may not see the months or years of quiet effort that came before it. But you will know the truth. You will know that every workout mattered. Every study session mattered. Every page mattered. Every small action mattered. So keep going. Stay patient. Stay committed. The roots are growing, even if you cannot see them. And when the time is right, the growth that once seemed invisible will become impossible to ignore. When you fail, at some point in your journey, something will go wrong. You will miss a day. You will break your routine. You will skip a workout, avoid a study session, or fall back into an old habit you thought you had already overcome. And in that moment, it can feel like everything is collapsing. You might start questioning yourself. You might think, I was doing so well. Why did I fail again? This is the moment where most people give up. But this is also the moment that decides who continues and who stops. Failure is not a sign that you are not capable, it is a sign that you are human. Perfection is not the requirement for success. In fact, perfection is not even part of the process. The real requirement is consistency. And consistency does not mean you never fall. It means you always return. It means you keep coming back even after you make mistakes. It means you refuse to let one bad moment define your entire journey. The truth is simple, but powerful. Everyone fails. The difference is in how they respond. Many people quit because they give too much power to a single mistake. One missed workout becomes a reason to stop exercising completely. One unhealthy meal becomes a week of unhealthy choices. One unproductive day becomes a belief that nothing will ever change. Slowly, one small slip turns into a full return to old habits. Not because the failure was big, but because the reaction to it was. Successful people think differently. They understand that mistakes are not the end of the system, they are part of it. They expect imperfection. They prepare for it. And most importantly, they know how to continue afterward. There is a simple rule that can change everything in your life: never miss twice. Missing once is a mistake. Missing twice becomes a pattern. And patterns shape your future. So when you fall off track, the goal is not to punish yourself or start over from zero. The goal is to return immediately, to take the next small action, to continue the system as soon as possible. Fall down, stand up, continue. That is the rhythm of real growth. The power of a system is not that it removes failure from your life. No system can do that. The real power of a system is that it protects you from staying down. It gives you a structure to return to. It gives you a path back when you lose direction. It turns setbacks into temporary pauses instead of permanent stops. So when you fail, and you will, do not overthink it. Do not judge yourself too harshly. Do not believe the story that everything is lost. Simply return to your system. Take the next step. Because success is not built by never falling. It is built by always getting back up. The life-changing question. Every single morning, before the noise of the day begins, there is one question that can quietly reshape your entire life. It is simple, but powerful enough to change the direction of your future. What system will I follow today? Most people wake up and immediately think about goals. They ask themselves, what do I want to achieve today? Or how can I get closer to my dream? On the surface, this seems positive. Goals feel exciting. They feel meaningful. They give life direction and purpose. But there is a hidden problem. Goals can also feel heavy. They can feel distant, overwhelming, and sometimes even discouraging when progress is slow. This is where systems change everything. A goal asks for a big result. A system asks for a small action. A goal might be writing a book, but a system is writing one page today. A goal might be getting fit, but a system is exercising for 30 minutes today. A goal might be financial freedom, but a system is saving a small amount consistently and making better financial decisions today. Do you see the difference? One focuses on pressure. The other focuses on process. One creates anxiety about the future. The other creates clarity in the present. When you focus only on goals, your mind constantly travels into the future. You start comparing where you are now with where you want to be, and the distance between the two can feel discouraging. But when you focus on systems, your attention returns to something you can actually control, your next action. And that is where real transformation begins. Focus on today's actions, not next year. Not next month, not even tomorrow, just today. Because tomorrow is built from what you do today, and yesterday is already gone. The only place where change actually happens is in the present moment. Success is not created in one dramatic leap. It is built quietly, through repeated daily actions that seem small but compound over time. A single page becomes a chapter. A single workout becomes strength. A single saving habit becomes financial stability. A single disciplined day becomes a disciplined life. That is why systems are so powerful. They remove confusion. They remove pressure. They give you a clear direction for each day, no matter how uncertain life feels. So tomorrow morning, do not overwhelm yourself with big expectations. Do not ask what huge achievement you must complete. Instead, ask the question that truly changes everything. What system will I follow today? Then take one small step, and then another. Because success is not waiting in some distant future. It is being built right now, in the quiet choices you make today. Final reflection: build the machine, not the dream. Most people spend their entire lives looking at dreams instead of building. They admire success from a distance. They imagine what it would feel like to have the perfect body, the perfect career, the perfect life. They wish for change. They hope for change. But wishing alone never moves anything forward. Dreaming alone never transforms reality. Even goals, when left by themselves, are not enough to create lasting success. What truly changes everything is the system you build every single day. A system is the bridge between intention and achievement. It is the quiet force working in the background when no one is watching. It is the invisible engine that turns effort into progress and progress into identity. When your system is strong, you stop depending on motivation. You stop chasing success. Instead, your daily actions begin to pull success toward you, because your habits create momentum. Your routines create direction. Your actions shape your identity, and your identity slowly becomes your future. This is why the focus must shift. Stop asking only what you want to achieve someday. Start asking how you want to live today. Stop obsessing over distant results. Focus on the small steps right in front of you. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. Build consistency in imperfect moments. Plant the seeds, water them, protect them, repeat them. Trust the process even when nothing seems to be happening. Because in the end, success is rarely owned by those with the biggest dreams. It belongs to those with the strongest systems, the ones who show up daily, quietly, consistently, when it is easy and when it is hard. So don't just build a dream. Build the machine that makes the dream inevitable.